I kidnapped him, and he swore he'd never obey me. But the moment he saw me, everything changed. You won't believe what happened next. After I had the third-rank scholar, Lu Miao, tied up and brought back to the princess's residence, he swore he would rather die than submit. Even if the princess kills me, I will never. But the moment he saw me clearly, his voice cut off. After a brief pause, the hand that had been gripping his waistband suddenly cramped, and his trousers slowly slid down. He shot me a pale glare and urged me on with extreme reluctance. Consider yourself lucky. If my hand hadn't cramped, you wouldn't stand a chance today. Hurry up. I have things to do later. 1. Inside the Grand Hall. Father Emperor and I refuse to give way to each other. I want Lu Miao. Nonsense. A melon picked by force will never be sweet. But it can still quench thirst and fill the stomach. Father Emperor's brows twitched at my retort. He changed tactics. Yaoguang, some things, if they are meant to be, they will be. If they are not meant to be, I'll force them, demand them, fight for them. I'll beg every single day. After several rounds of this, Father Emperor puffed his beard and glared at me, so angry he pointed a trembling finger, but couldn't get a word out. I knelt and kowtowed. Thank you, Father Emperor, for your silent approval. Then I turned and ordered my people to make sure Lu Miao was invited to the princess's residence. My subordinates worked efficiently. Before I even made it back, Lu Miao had already been delivered to my bedchamber. Outside the room, my personal maid listened to the sounds of smashing and shouting coming from within and asked worriedly, "Princess, what if Scholar Lu truly refuses to submit, even at the cost of his life?" Then we let him go. The maid's eyes widened. Ah? But didn't you just tell His Majesty? I was just being rebellious and wanted to go against Father Emperor on purpose. Is that not allowed? Who told him to hold imperial concubine selections this year, and surely again next year, making my mother cry every single time. So, I'm going to snatch away the person he values most from this year's top scholars. Let him have a taste of frustration and gloom for once. That's what I said, but if Lu Miao truly doesn't want this, I'm not about to force myself on him. At worst, I'll find a young and beautiful woman who matches his preferences. There are plenty of ways to make him indulge in pleasures and neglect proper duties. Also, I can give my romantic Father Emperor a proper lesson. When I pushed the door open and entered, Lu Miao was still shouting at the top of his lungs. Let me out. I, Lu Miao, may have no power or influence, but at least my own body belongs to me. Tell your princess that even if she kills me, I will never. The door creaked open. Lu Miao glared furiously toward it. His angry expression froze the instant he saw me. He blinked, and his throat seemed to lose its voice. While he stared at me in a daze, I quietly observed him as well. Well, my people really knew how to think on their feet. Lu Miao had clearly been washed and cleaned. The ends of his black hair clung damply to the side of his neck, like dark brushstrokes outlining contours that made one's heart race. His snow-white inner robe was soaked through, the fabric turning faintly transparent. It created a silent, almost tangible kind of allure. For some reason, my heart began to pound, and I swallowed. 2. The sound of my swallowing startled Lu Miao back to his senses. He suddenly came to himself and hurriedly looked away, refusing to meet my eyes, biting his lip in embarrassment. Stubborn to the core, he said, Don't think I was staring just because I thought you were pretty. I just wanted to see what kind of face belongs to someone who would kidnap a man off the street and drag him home. That disdainful tone. Apparently, he was dissatisfied with both me and my appearance. May I ask what kind of woman Scholar Lu prefers? As long as he could name it, I could spend a fortune to find her. If a fortune wasn't enough, then double or triple it. The princess's residence has nothing if not gold. Lu Miao looked horrified. To get me, you're even willing to change your face? He began lecturing me indignantly. Princess Yaoguang, one's body and appearance are gifts from one's parents. How can you change them on a whim? After scolding me, he added nervously in a softer voice. Did you hear me? You're not allowed to change the way you look. I was just about to say he had misunderstood. I hadn't meant it that way at all. When suddenly the hand that had been clutching his waistband cramped. Then, right before my eyes, his trousers slid all the way down to his ankles, revealing long, firm legs and, seeing that I still hadn't moved, Lu Miao's face turned bright red. He bit his lip and urged me on with obvious reluctance. Consider yourself lucky. If my hand hadn't cramped, you wouldn't get your way today. If you're going to do it, hurry up. I have things to do later. Me. Now that it seemed real, I didn't even know where to start. I desperately tried to recall the secret manuals and romance stories I'd read. Maybe start with a kiss? I walked up to Lu Miao and let my gaze fall on his soft, moist lips. A belated sense of shyness and hesitation crept over me. Then I heard Lu Miao scoff in disgust. So useless. You're a dignified princess and don't even know how to kiss? Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying I want you to kiss me. I'm just purely mocking you. The rest of Lu Miao's words were roughly cut off as I pressed my lips to his. Angrily, I bit his lip and sucked hard in punishment. He must have felt pain because he let out a muffled groan. Serves him right. That's the price of mocking this princess. Once the first step was taken, the rest followed naturally. Not bad at all. With a body like his, I'm certainly not at a loss. But just as my fingers brushed a certain place, Lu Miao's body suddenly went stiff, and he collapsed backward, unconscious. Your Highness, may I ask what Scholar Lu was doing before he fainted? The pulse shows no illness, yet his qi and blood are in abnormal turmoil. Strange, very strange. After finishing his examination, the resident's physician asked in confusion. I didn't know how to answer. How was I supposed to say I had kissed Scholar Lu straight into unconsciousness? 3. Well, before he fainted, we were, doing that. I struggled to find the right words. The resident's physician was an experienced man. Seeing me hesitate, he suddenly understood. He scribbled out a full page of prescriptions in a flurry and instructed the young medical assistant who had come with him. Use generous amounts of ingredients. Brew it strong. Seeing my worried expression, he reassured me. Please don't worry, Your Highness. This is my specialty. The physician thumped his chest confidently and promised. Even the most useless and incapable male patient, after drinking my medicine, will be sure to satisfy the princess. There will absolutely not be another situation like this, where he gets worn out halfway. I found his words rather baffling, but it didn't seem appropriate to undermine his confidence. I rewarded him with a gold ingot. Thank you for your hard work, physician. I'll be waiting for the effects of your medicine. For some reason, when the physician left and glanced back at Lu Miao one last time, I felt there was a trace of pity in his eyes. Could it be that the medicine he prescribed was extremely bitter? Truly, a doctor's heart is full of compassion. Not long after, Lu Miao slowly woke up. He stared blankly at the ceiling, having no idea what had happened. His expression was innocent and fragile. Suddenly, his eyes widened as he remembered, and his face flushed as red as sunset clouds. You're awake? Hearing my voice, Lu Miao shot upright, but because he moved too fast, he immediately began coughing. Cough, cough. Sensing something strange about his body, Lu Miao's face changed instantly. Outrageous. How could Your Highness take advantage of me and turn raw rice into cooked rice while I was unconscious? Forget it. I, Lu Miao, am not one to shirk responsibility. Since it has come to this, I suppose I must marry you. I stared at him in surprise and kindly reminded him. The physician said there would be soreness after acupuncture. Lu Miao froze. Sure enough, upon closer inspection, he found tiny needle marks on his body. So, that's what it was. He had just assumed and even declared he would marry me. Embarrassed and regretful, Lu Miao caught sight of the assistant bringing in the medicine. As if grabbing a lifeline to change the subject, he didn't even ask what the medicine was, just took the bowl and drank it in one gulp. After the assistant left, only Lu Miao and I remained in the room. An awkward silence hung between us. I scratched my head and took the initiative to break it. Huh? Your hand seems fine now. It's not cramping anymore. Lu Miao looked at his own hand, his voice a little stiff. Yes, it's not cramping anymore. I'm very happy. Finally, I don't have to let you do whatever you want of me. Happy? So this is what happiness looks like for someone intelligent, pulling a long face like they're attending a funeral. Truly different from us ordinary folks. Scholar Lu, since your hand is better now, then what I actually wanted to say was, then maybe use your hand first. The storybooks said that would make things less painful for women. I was just thinking about how to phrase it tactfully, when Lu Miao had already turned pale and reluctantly climbed out of bed. Then I shall take my leave. 4. Still unwilling, huh? Forget it. After such a chaotic day, I was tired too. If he wants to leave, then leave. I waved my hand, signaling he could do as he pleased. Lu Miao seemed shocked that I was actually letting things end just like that. His expression was hard to read, somewhere between relief at surviving a disaster and a strange sense of loss. Maybe it was the aftereffects of acupuncture, but his neck seemed uncomfortable. Lu Miao took a step, then glanced back, again and again. The short distance to the door took him ages to cover, slower than walking several miles. Finally, after stepping halfway out, Lu Miao turned back in surprise and pointed at me angrily. Your Highness, something's wrong with me. What did you make me drink? I looked at him in confusion. At that moment, Lu Miao's face was clearly flushed and abnormal red. His originally clear, bright eyes looked as if they were on fire, clouded and burning hot. I suddenly understood the physician's meaningful words. This was the princess's residence. The medicine had been prescribed by my own physician. Even if I tried to explain I didn't know anything about it, who would believe me? Fine. I'll own up to it. I sighed, then looked at Lu Miao and waved him over. Come back. In the very next moment, Lu Miao, who had taken half an incense stick just to walk a few steps earlier, darted back like an arrow, jumped into the bed, and pulled the curtain shut. Damn it, this medicine is too strong. Let's hurry and begin. Perhaps under the influence of the drug, Lu Miao muttered that this wasn't right, yet his hands were incredibly eager and proactive. The bed creaked and swayed, the gauze curtains trembling. There was a faint, pleasant ache mixed into the sensation. I couldn't help clutching at the messy blanket beneath me. My curled fingers were pried open one by Lu Miao, his hand sliding between mine until our fingers intertwined and palms pressed tightly together. Hold on to me. Dazed, I grabbed his hand, my fingertips pressing against the bulging blue veins on the back of his. 5. In the end, it was a completely intense and thorough encounter. Afterward came the unavoidable awkwardness. Lu Miao refused to look at me, staring at the wooden headboard as if it were some priceless treasure. I was thirsty from dehydration and used to being waited on. Bring me some water. Lu Miao, whose backside I nudged with my foot, instantly exploded. Am I your servant? What right do you have to order me to pour tea and serve water? Here, open your mouth. I watched as the same person efficiently brought over a cup of tea and held it to my lips. I turned my head away and complained. It's too hot. Lu Miao's face darkened. Princess syndrome. Why are you so troublesome? After grumbling, he gently blew on the tea. The next time he offered it, he tested the temperature with his own lips before handing it to me with reassurance. Watching him awkwardly fumble through all this, I couldn't help laughing. Lu Miao endured my smiling face and fed me the water, then muttered quietly. Don't think I want to serve you. I'm just afraid someone might come in and spread rumors about improper daytime behavior and ruin my reputation. After saying that, he glanced at me quickly, hesitated for a long time, then finally spoke. Now that things have come to this between us, what do you plan to do? After that overwhelming and uncontrollable physical experience, I felt as if my soul had been drained out. I was so tired I was half asleep. Hearing Lu Miao's question, my sluggish mind repeated, Do what about what? That instantly set Lu Miao off. Why, you didn't even think about the future and you just dragged me to bed and did all this? Do you have any idea how my colleagues will look at me once I walk out of your princess's residence today? What the world will say about me. You've gotten what you wanted. You can just close your eyes and go on eating and sleeping peacefully. But how am I supposed to live after this? Unless, seeing that I had no reaction, Lu Miao hardened his resolve and blurted out. Unless we get married as soon as possible. Once we have the title of husband and wife, no one will have anything to say about it. 6. Marriage, huh? That last part Lu Miao said, no one would be able to interfere or say anything, did sound a bit tempting. No matter what, Father Emperor couldn't meddle in the affairs of a married couple, right? Fine. Then, let's get married. Really? Lu Miao raised his voice and urgently asked for confirmation. After seeing me nod, his eyes lit up instantly. Then he fainted again. I was completely speechless. The residence physician hurried over once more with his medicine chest. He solemnly instructed the assistant, double the dosage. Brew it even stronger. Then he added tactfully, Your Highness, forgive me for being blunt, but it would be best to exercise a bit more restraint next time. He clearly thought I had worn Lu Miao out again. I was exasperated with Lu Miao for fainting at every turn, and even more exasperated with a physician whose mind contained nothing but medicine. He didn't faint from that. Take a proper look at him and figure out what's actually going on. He just fainted while talking. The physician dropped to his knees and kowtowed. Please forgive me, Princess. After a careful examination and checking his pulse, the physician reached a conclusion. Your Highness, Scholar Lu's lips are slightly lifted and his brows relaxed. Combined with the pulse, this is clearly a case of fainting caused by overwhelming joy. At that moment, Lu Miao woke up. Seeing there were other people in the room, he immediately put on airs. He really did have the refined, dignified appearance of a scholar too noble to be humiliated. Doctor, I've let you witness something embarrassing. The princess is far too willful. She even declared she would force me to marry her. I was so angry that The physician was stunned. I spoke up calmly. The doctor said you fainted from excessive delight. Impossible. Lu Miao denied it flatly. Before I could say anything more, the physician was already offended. In his entire life, he might be useless at everything else, but when it came to medicine, he considered himself number one. He would never tolerate anyone questioning his skills. What do you mean by that, Scholar Lu? Are you implying my diagnosis was inaccurate? If so, we can summon all the imperial physicians for a joint consultation to determine the true cause of your fainting. All the pulse readings and examination results have been recorded for verification. Lu Miao was caught between a rock and a hard place, his face turning bright red. He desperately shot meaningful looks at the physician, trying to signal that he wanted to speak privately. Unfortunately, those meaningful glances were wasted on a blind man. When it came to social awareness, my residence physician was utterly hopeless. With no other choice, Lu Miao gave up and closed his eyes in defeat. Fine. Doctor, you're amazing. I fainted from overwhelming joy. Satisfied? The physician's eyes sparkled with pride as he turned to the assistant and boasted. Did you hear that? Scholar Lu is very pleased with my medical skills. He kept praising me. Learn well from your master, and one day your patients will praise you like this too. The assistant. Lu Miao. Completely satisfied with himself, the physician left with his assistant. 7. Once we were sure the physician had gone far away, Lu Miao immediately changed his tune. I only went along with him because he's old and I didn't have the heart to hurt his feelings. How could I possibly feel happy about marrying the princess? Haha, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, ha. Lu Miao laughed awkwardly and dryly. I shrugged indifferently. When Lu Miao left the princess's residence, he walked out with the marriage contract hanging around his neck, pressed to his chest. I heard that whenever he met someone, he would say, "There's nothing I can do. The princess's command cannot be defied. Yes, she simply refuses to marry anyone but me. I can't just let the princess grow old alone, can I?" The wedding date was set for the end of the month. Every day, I went to the Hanlin Academy to look for Lu Miao, firmly carrying out my plan of influencing him to neglect his proper duties. After going so often, Even the other scholars in the academy became familiar with me. One day, I arrived again carrying a food box. By coincidence, a few scholars were chatting inside. Scholar Lu, the princess really treats you well, bringing you different things every day. Aren't you moved at all? If a woman treated me like that, I could never bear to give her the cold shoulder. I'd cherish her to the core. Lu Miao looked as if he were about to grow a tail and wag it. He could barely suppress the corners of his mouth. Women just like doing these pointless things, embroidering a pouch today, making pastries tomorrow. Sweet and cloying. I don't even want them. It's only because she insists on giving them to me with such eager eyes. Refusing would damage the royal family's dignity. His words sparked a fresh round of envy and flattery from the others. Only Gu Shao, sitting in a corner compiling historical records, remained silent and out of place. Someone called out to him. Editor Gu, what do you think? Is the princess good to our scholar Lu or not? Gu Shao looked up from his writing, lips pressed tightly together, eyes slightly red. The princess is very good. Anyone who betrays the princess's sincerity, why don't they just go die? In an instant, the lively room fell dead silent. Lu Miao jumped up like a plucked fighting rooster.
Gu Shao. What do you mean by that?
Before Gu Shao could respond, someone noticed me standing outside. The princess is here. Now that I'd been discovered, I smoothed my skirt and stepped into the room openly. Before I could steady myself, Gu Shao rushed toward me like a gust of wind. Princess, I like you. Everyone was stunned. Lu Miao doesn't cherish you at all. He doesn't deserve to be your husband. Gu Shao looked at me eagerly, his face flushed as he recommended himself. He complains that the pouch you embroidered has poor stitching, says your pastries are too sweet and greasy. Don't give him anything anymore. Give them to someone who will treasure them instead. Like me. It was love at first sight for me. My feelings are as deep as the sea, until the seas run dry, dry, dry. Gu Shao suddenly got stuck. From behind him, Lu Miao's gloomy voice floated over like a ghost. Deeply engraved in the heart. Gu Shao's eyes lit up. Thank you.
Yes.
Deeply engraved in the heart. Lu Miao, who had just been politely thanked, laughed in furious disbelief. Ha! You're really quite polite, aren't you? Confessing to my fiancé right in front of me. Do you think I'm already dead? Sometimes, when stories take a turn you least expect, even the most composed characters reveal their quirks. Let's see what chaos and mischief unfolds next in the palace.
8.
Lu Miao forcefully squeezed between Gu Shao and me, opened the food box, and exaggeratedly ate every pastry slowly, one bite at a time. Gu Shao was practically drooling. Then Lu Miao took all the pouches I had given before and tied them on his head. A dozen pouches, all stacked, making him look like a flamboyant peacock. Princess, let me escort you back to your residence. He held me affectionately by the arm, leaving Gu Shao in tears, staring at our retreating backs. On the way back, Lu Miao was extremely restless. I remember there was a goose yellow pouch. Where did it go? Yesterday I went out for a bit, and when I came back, one pastry was missing. It must have been him. He chattered incessantly. It was maddening. I leaned forward and bit his opening and closing lips. Finally, silence. Lu Miao, bitten, looked dazed, his cheeks flushed. Princess, just hold on a little, let's wait until we get home. Me. Is that what he meant? Back at the residence, the pouches on Lu Miao's head wobbled with every step. He couldn't walk steadily, yet refused to take them off. Seeing his jittery behavior, I called the residence physician. Take a look at him. He was bitten, acting strangely, and won't let anyone touch his things. The physician nodded confidently. Princess, don't worry. I'm an expert in this. Does Scholar Lu show any signs of food guarding or lifting his leg to pee? Me. Could he really be acting so neurotic? I hesitated. Well, he is guarding his food. He won't even let Gu Shao sniff the pastries. Lifting his leg? Not yet. The physician understood immediately and instructed the assistant. Double the dosage and brew it stronger. Unexpectedly, Lu Miao didn't seem surprised at all when the medicine was brought to him. He blushed for some reason, glanced at me teasingly, and muttered softly, "I'm great even without the medicine." He tilted his head back and drank it all, in one gulp. The physician carefully asked Lu Miao, "How do you feel now? Thirsty?" Lu Miao bit his lip, glanced at me, swallowed, and nodded. "Wanna bite someone?" Lu Miao's eyes fixed on my shoulder and neck as if recalling something, and he nodded honestly. The physician dangled a piece of meaty bone in front of him. Swinging it in front of Lu Miao, he coaxed, "Come on, bite it. Follow me," leading him toward the iron cage in the courtyard. Lu Miao. Me. Finally, Lu Miao realized what was happening and swatted the bone to the ground. "I'm not a mad dog." The physician was dumbfounded and turned to me. "Princess, didn't you say Scholar Lu was bitten?" I forced a smile. "Physician, do I look like a dog to you?" The physician blinked, slapped his thigh. "Oh no, that medicine."
9.
Before he could finish, Lu Miao collapsed. The physician murmured sheepishly. That medicine had a large amount of sedative. Lu Miao slept for 2 days and 1 night in the princess's residence. When he appeared in public again, the medicine's effects hadn't fully worn off. He walked unsteadily and looked listless. "Princess, you're fierce." Look at Scholar Lu's legs trembling. The emperor, heartbroken, personally gave Lu Miao a seat. "My dear minister, you have been wronged. I did not protect you properly." Lu Miao nearly cried. "It's not like that. I'm really capable, believe me." The emperor gave a knowing look. "Don't worry, I'll keep your reputation safe." He immediately ordered, "Proclaim it. Anyone who says Scholar Lu is incompetent, weak, or frail shall be slapped." The eunuchs repeated the edict, spreading it outside the palace gates. Lu Miao's eyes widened, mouth agape in disbelief. The emperor kindly helped him sit. "Look at you, all emotional. Sit down and rest properly." On the wedding day, the event was grand. Everyone cried as they sent Lu Miao off, as if he were entering a den of wild beasts. In the bridal chamber, the moment the door closed, Lu Miao dragged me into the bed curtains. He urgently sought my lips, kissing fiercely. I was outraged. I needed to prove myself. I froze. So that was it. I had thought he missed me. Once was awkward, twice became familiar. This time, with everything legitimized, Lu Miao kissed boldly and recklessly, without restraint. At the moment we fully merged, we both gasped, releasing the same sigh. Looking at me, Lu Miao was displeased that my eyes were closed and forcibly claimed my gaze. Who am I? A minister valued by the emperor. Lu Miao was clearly dissatisfied with that answer and mischievously demanded, "Yaoguang, say it again, who am I?" So infuriating. "Lu Miao, there's something spooky about you." Taking advantage of the moment he looked away, I flipped over and straddled him. Smack. I delivered a light but crisp slap. "Open your eyes. Look at me. Torturing someone who wouldn't know how to do it. Say it, who am I?" Lu Miao lost control, staring at me dazedly. His voice hoarse. "Yaoguang. You are Yaoguang. My princess, my what?" Lu Miao shivered all over. "My deity, my moon, my baby." He showered me with words of madness and sweetness, one after another. I couldn't help but wonder what expression he would wear once he came to his senses.
10.
The sun was high when I opened my eyes and nearly jumped. Lu Miao's eyes were red and swollen. He was hanging himself. "What are you doing? Get down now. Do I even have the face to live? Let me die." Boo-hoo, last night wasn't me. It was a possession. I didn't bother with him and raised a hand. "Not now. Die later. First bring me a wet cloth." My fingers were dusty, uncomfortable. Lu Miao's eyes went wide, incredulous, his voice rising. "Yaoguang, you don't think I'm some dog you can summon and dismiss at will, do you? Come, hand it over." I lazily opened my hand. Lu Miao carefully dabbed the wet cloth on me, as if performing a meticulous scholarly experiment. "My waist hurts." Lu Miao flared. "Yaoguang, don't go too far." I pursed my lips and said casually, "If you don't want to, then go die."
Someone.
Bring in a guard with strong hands.
Out.
The princess doesn't need you. Lu Miao turned and drove the servant away. All right then, Yaoguang, don't think you can control me just like that. Gentle now. The scolding Lu Miao quickly adjusted his grip. Like this, keep going. Honestly, life after marrying Lu Miao was quite nice. He gave in to my every request. Physically, we were highly compatible, and our games could get wild. Except, every time he went overboard during intimacy, he would later despair as soon as he sobered up. Over time, I realized he never actually intended to die. He just couldn't face his own obsession and love for me. So I let him throw his tantrums. But this time, Lu Miao was serious. He had somehow heard that my insistence on claiming him before was just to spite my father. Yaoguang. I thought even if it wasn't true love at first sight, at least it would be like mine, instant infatuation. If not, I wouldn't have fallen so deep, willingly indulging myself. But the love I secretly cherished and savored every day never existed. You don't actually like me. I'm just a tool for you to battle the emperor. If today's top scholar had been Gu Shao or Liang Shi, then the princess's resident's son-in-law would have been surnamed Gu or Liang. How am I supposed to go on? How do I keep lying to myself? Lu Miao lowered his head, shoulders trembling slightly as crystal-clear tears fell. He stood quietly, letting the tears soak his clothes, and the pride he usually treasured seemed worthless in that moment. He sank deeply into his own endless pain and sorrow. According to the story, a cliff-like truth breakup is the hardest emotional blow. 11. After so many nights, no, after so many days spent together. Humans aren't made of stone, who can be entirely unmoved. Seeing him like this, I wasn't heartless. I wanted to explain. But what Lu Miao said was true. For a proud royal princess to deny reality, I could not and would not do that. Lu Miao couldn't wait for my explanation. His eyes were full of despair. He shivered, seemingly unable to bear any more. A thin, sharp blade, hidden in his sleeve, appeared. I had no time to react before Lu Miao's wrist veins, clear and blue, were cut, and bright red blood instantly stained the snow-white fabric. Someone! Help! I screamed toward the door, but there was no response. Lu Miao curled his lips into a maddened smile. Yaoguang, no one's coming. I told them. The princess and I are playing a private game in the inner quarters. No one is allowed to approach or disturb. They had all flushed and hidden. I panicked. Lu Miao, are you insane? Dying in front of you will make you remember me forever? He carried a strange mix of secret excitement and anticipation. I seriously doubted he hadn't lost his mind. The blood flowed faster, his face visibly paled inch by inch. I cursed under my breath and clumsily pressed the cloth to stop the bleeding. Lu Miao obediently let me act, even seeming to enjoy it. Princess, I've bled so much. Does it hurt you? I tied a clumsy knot and got up to leave. Since no one answered, I went outside to look. But in the courtyard, I suddenly noticed a new padlock I hadn't seen before, still locked. As I angrily tugged at it, a faint voice came from behind. Boastful and annoying as ever. I locked it, and I hid the key. I strode toward him. His starry eyes, full of expectation, got an elbow to the face. Deserve a beating, got it? He quieted immediately, making it easier to get things done. Without hesitation, I reached into Lu Miao's trousers. Damn, our synchronicity. There it really was. I went to unlock it and fetch the physician. The physician ran over, carrying his medicine box. Seeing Lu Miao, his eyes went wide. Playing this big. This is deadly. He prepared the prescription, instructing the assistant, double the dosage and brew it strong. The assistant hesitated, whimpering. Master, shouldn't you first ask what the princess is really doing? The assistant had been tripped up a few times by the master and feared ending his career before it began. I summarized briefly. The blood is from a blade on his arm. The fainting?
From me hitting his neck.
The physician hurriedly checked the back of Lu Miao's neck. He scratched out and added a few notes on the prescription. Double the dosage, brew strong. Apply acupuncture points. Half an hour later, Lu Miao's pale lips finally regained a hint of color.
12.
Once the physician confirmed Lu Miao was out of danger, he let out a long, relieved sigh. When he bowed to me, his expression was grave, more serious than I had ever seen, his tone solemn. Princess, forgive my meddling. I may have saved Lu Miao this time, but I might not be able to save him next time, or the time after that. You mean, Lu Miao's illness lies in his heart. As long as his heart remains unsettled, incidents like this will keep happening. I understand. You may leave. Lu Miao's heart. How to heal it? I had no experience whatsoever. I drafted a few approaches, time to test them one by one. Lu Miao fully regained consciousness the next day. He realized he was still alive, expressionless, like a walking corpse. Or rather, like a living person ready to die at any moment. Just as the physician said, the situation was serious. I urgently initiated Plan 1. I summoned the emperor to the princess residence and had him personally promise Lu Miao promotions and wealth. My loyal subject, I cannot be without you. As long as you stay well, I guarantee your rise to fame and fortune. Money, power, status, desires of mortals across all ages. Lu Miao had nothing left to live for, so I presented him with the things people most yearn to hold on to. The emperor truly valued talent and wept bitterly, even more upset than not being selected for the imperial examination. Lu Miao, however, showed no reaction. The emperor was awkward, rubbing his nose, quietly doubting his own charisma as a ruler. Seeing it ineffective, I spoke up to dismiss him. All right, father, you may go. Useless old man. The emperor stomped off, sulking. Plan 2 could begin. The land of gentle affection. Lu Miao, what's more important, the process or the outcome? Though I approached you with impure motives, the result is that we are married. We are together and happy, aren't we? I really do like you now. This wasn't a lie. With Lu Miao's cold, handsome face and his wild energy in bed, who could resist such contrast? But Lu Miao treated me like a con artist whose trust had been spent. He refused my closeness. Growing up, he had never encountered someone so persistently warm, so stubbornly affectionate. I glared at the lying corpse that once again rejected my advances. Fine. 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 Don't blame me if I activate Plan 3. Lu Miao, here are your belongings. Check them. Nothing's missing, right? Lu Miao, lying in bed, turned his head in confusion and asked the maid. What did you call me? The princess's maid always called him the prince consort. Today, the titles suddenly changed. Lu Miao's gaze shifted to the boxes of his belongings. The lids were wide open. Everything was accounted for. The little maids had checked inside and out 3 times. Are these going to Lu's residence or somewhere else? Please provide the address so the steward can arrange the carriage. The living dead, who had been expressionless for days, finally cracked his mask of calm. What do you mean? The maid patiently explained. The new prince consort is arriving. The princess wants you to make space. Lu Miao sprang to his feet. From chickenpox lethargy to hyperactive frenzy. What new prince consort? Explain clearly. I'm not dead yet. The princess can't wait that much? No truth at all. Yesterday, she claimed to like me. Today, she's welcoming a new guest. A liar. She's a liar. 13. The maid was displeased and spoke sharply. Lu Miao, you occupy the prince consort's position but do none of the duties, causing trouble for the princess. Anyone would eventually lose patience. If you refuse the princess, then leave her residence quickly. Don't act like everyone owes you. Our princess, even if she lies, has many who would gladly fall for her schemes. Lu Miao was left speechless. The maid pressed further. By the way, take the bed with you. No reason for the new prince consort to sleep in the old one. The servants waiting outside saw the gesture and began entering in order to dismantle the bed. No one touches it. No one touches my bed with the princess. Where's the princess? I want to see her. The maid relayed back and forth. I sipped my tea and instructed, Let him stew and wait, then said, "The princess and the new prince consort went to the villa. We'll return tomorrow." The next day, before my carriage even reached the princess' residence, a staggering figure came rushing toward the gate. Suddenly, the curtain was thrown aside. Lu Miao's face drained of color the instant he saw the handsome gentleman seated beside me. After waiting outside all night, he was already exhausted. Trying to maintain composure, he asked, "Princess, who is he?" I didn't answer, instead countered, "Oh, you're still here?" Hearing this, Lu Miao's weak body swayed heavily. He gripped the carriage door to steady himself. "I am the prince consort. Of course I belong in the princess's residence." Like a dog marking its territory, he addressed the handsome gentleman. "Hello, I am the prince consort." The performance had to be thorough. Before the handsome gentleman could speak, I quickly instructed, "Has the meal been prepared? Set it in the pavilion, he likes that." Lu Miao silently followed behind us, watching me and the handsome gentleman exchanging cups and laughter, smiling so sweetly. He kept watching, and watching, until I personally brought a cup of wine to the gentleman's lips. Lu Miao's eyes ignited with fury. He flipped the table. "Lu Miao,
How dare you?"
I scolded him sternly. He knelt, crawling to me. "Princess, I was wrong. Whether real or fake, with purpose or without, I can accept it all. I just cannot accept that person not being me. I really like you." I remained silent. The handsome gentleman, stunned beside me, awkwardly said, "Brother-in-law, what are you doing?" 14. Lu Miao froze. The hall fell into a deathly silence, only broken by the cawing of crows flying overhead. The handsome gentleman, confused, broke the tension. "Brother-in-law, I was invited by the princess to visit her residence. Are you not welcoming me? Why did you flip the table?" Lu Miao, who had flipped the table, calmly stood up and smoothed the folds of his clothing as if nothing had happened. Then he turned, smiling warmly and sincerely.
"How could that be?"
"I'm more than happy to see you come, brother-in-law. I just saw the chef being too careless. These dishes aren't suitable to entertain you. I flipped the table to teach them a lesson. Soon I'll personally prepare a proper meal for you." The handsome gentleman's face brightened, a simple smile spreading.
"Oh, I see."
So earlier, with the princess, Lu Miao's face showed not a trace of embarrassment, expression flawless. After marriage, one understands. Some small, private joys between husband and wife are not meant for outsiders' eyes. "I'm afraid I embarrass myself in front of you." The handsome gentleman's face immediately flushed, perhaps thinking of someone in his heart. The maid led the visiting gentleman away to rest. Only Lu Miao and I remained in the pavilion. "Playing? How come you've stopped? Where's the little fun?" Lu Miao's face was red with shame, yet he stubbornly held my hand. "They said you have a new prince consort."
I
lied to you." I admitted it calmly. "If I hadn't, I wouldn't have gotten to see you so vivid, so spontaneous in your performance."
What?
"You didn't want me to lie to you?" Lu Miao looked aggrieved. "No, I want you to lie to me for a lifetime." I pressed a soft kiss to his lips. "That I like you?" I wasn't lying. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone to such lengths. "Lu Miao, do you understand?" Lu Miao blinked, a tear slipping down his cheek. I sighed, enduring Lu Miao's trembling, clinging embrace. My heart felt a little unsettled. Alas, how did the illustrious and refined top scholar end up in such a chaotic state because of me? Alas, I suppose I'll have to spend a lifetime making amends. Watching him struggle and yet give in, I never thought I could feel this alive. There's something dangerously thrilling about holding someone's heart in your hands while they're too stubborn to let go. Honestly, I can't wait to see what chaos we'll cause together next. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more of my wild adventures.